is here.
You're looking at live pictures of Donald Trump speaking right now in Bluffton, South Carolina. He had yet more to say about John McCain. Listen in.
And this is why I'm angry at John McCain, for two reasons. Number one, John McCain, you got to remember this, he's totally about open borders and all of this stuff. And when I went to Arizona, he called these 15,000 unbelievable people. Unbelievable. I know crazies. Okay? I know crazies. These were unbelievable American people. And John McCain, who I supported for president, I think I raised him over $1 million. And he lost. So he can lose. I don't hold that against him. But I raised him a lot of money. But he called these people crazies. They were so...
All right, Tony, so Donald Trump says he called these people crazies.
Yeah, but you don't insult the man's heroism. There is a lot on the policy side. Many Republicans disagree with John McCain on immigration reform, probably being primary among them. But Donald Trump completely changed the conversation into this type of personal attack that's become the MO of his very short-lived presidential campaign. And while I do think he's getting a lot of attention from people, I think he's winning the marketing exercise that is rolling yourself out. Whether or not he's going to actually be credible in the long run is going to be turned on things like this. How is he going to handle them? You're not going to win the New Hampshire primary telling people why you're angry at John McCain. You're going to win it telling people why you're angry at Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama. So can Donald Trump actually make the transition from being the guy inside our tent firing among us versus being the guy who goes and fires against the true opponents in this race, which are clearly the Obama agenda and Secretary Clinton? And that's why I think you have so many Republicans, even some who actually like Donald Trump, frustrated that this is where he's taking this conversation. It's totally the wrong direction.
I think they're frustrated because, look, he did say something very offensive about John McCain. And he had multiple opportunities to say he was sorry. This is a guy who's never wrong. This is a guy who can't say he's sorry. I'm sorry, but there's no amount. You can see what it must be like to be married to Donald Trump. I mean, this is why he has 4 wives. No amount of money or shoes or houses would make me want to be married to somebody like this who can't. And I think in the end, America, at the end, through this primary, we're going to fire him.
Well, it wasn't his wife.
It's just too much.
It was Bill O'Reilly last night who gave him an opportunity to apologize. Right. Here's what he said. Listen.
Well, I'm going to say this. I have respect for Senator McCain. I used to like him a lot. I supported him. I raised a lot of money for his campaign against President Obama. And certainly if there was a misunderstanding, I would totally take that back. But hopefully I said it correctly, and certainly shortly thereafter I said it correctly.
All right, Andrea, so he looked back at what he said. He said, there shouldn't be any misunderstanding here.
I know, the non-apology.
I was going to say the non-apology apology. And by the way, Melania Trump always looks very content when I see her. So I think she's doing pretty well. I think she's probably pretty happy.
I think he's
Donald.
a pill.
Look, you're not going to get an apology from Donald Trump. It's just not going to happen. What I don't understand is why in day 2 of a news cycle, someone as skilled with the media as Donald Trump would be fueling the story and fighting with John McCain. Why are you fighting with John McCain? A really skilled master of the media would have flipped this already into turning this against Hillary Clinton and a Democratic Party.
Well, he is, and he's going to say he's going to champion the message for veterans, and he's going to improve the VA.
No, but he keeps talking about John McCain. Get off John McCain. Yeah. John McCain isn't running, and you're running in a Republican primary. I don't love a lot of things John McCain did, but to keep this story alive, he's fighting with the wrong enemy.
Like Andrea, I feel like there had to have been a calculated reason for him to say such a thing.
I mean, I don't think that it was any more calculated than anything else he does. I mean, I think he sees this as an extension to the illegal immigration conversation that that he thinks he's having with the rest of the country. I would say this. If you watch that Bill O'Reilly interview, he didn't just open the door for him to apologize. He put the words out there. He framed the question such that it was, now you do think Senator McCain was a hero, right? I mean, it was, look, dude, fill in the blank here. I've teed it up for you.
I think Bill O'Reilly actually did him even more of a solid at the end. He said, Donald, I know you think John McCain is a hero. He put the words in his mouth. Look, what frustrates me is seeing, though, the paralysis the Trump candidacy has caused among other Republicans. Why the heck, in 2 weeks of literally nothing substantive, are we still talking about Donald Trump?
Because of what you just said.
That's a failure on the part of the other prime candidates.
Why are they not
maybe
talking
the exception
about
of Scott Walker, but that's because he just kind of came onto the stage. But I want to see Jeb Bush. I want to see Marco Rubio. I want to see Scott Walker, Chris Christie, and others start actually giving the media something else to cover.
No,
they don't control the media.
A lot of them cannot, because they have supported immigration that's questionable in a Republican primary. If Donald Trump really wants to fire and aim on target, he'll go off Republicans with vulnerable, more liberal messages on immigration, and he's not doing that. My other question is, why aren't these members of Congress that are running for president doing something about immigration reform? They control the Senate. They control the House. Why did we spend so much time winning these elections to do something about the borders or sanctuary cities? They're asleep
when
at the
Senator
switch.
Graham sat here last week, I said, we have more than 300 sanctuary cities. You're going to tell me the conversation just started on Capitol Hill? What happened to it years ago? You know, 1985 when Dianne Feinstein put that in place for her city of San Francisco. And then you saw city after city rolling out legislation that looked very similar. Why wasn't that conversation happening bipartisan?
Look, and you have to give Donald Trump,
and
you have to give him some credit for bringing light on these types of issues. But Harris, you and I had a conversation the day after, on the air, the day after Trump announced, and I said it's how these candidates, his primary candidates, are going to respond to them that's going to either help them break out of the pack and shine, or have their campaigns crumble. And right now, no one's broken out of the pack, and how they've responded to Donald Trump, they have to.
I think responding to Donald Trump is a no-winner for any of these primary candidates.
All right. Well, an emotional day on Capitol Hill as the father of a woman killed on the San Francisco waterfront testifies about the policies that protected the man accused of gunning her down. But will his emotional words lead to any changes in the laws?